Hey guys, what's going on? It's Adam Mena here from BOS Education. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can truly improve your body composition, whether you're an athlete this off-season or whether you're an individual who's looking to get into really good shape. I'm going to show you the 5 tactics that we use to ensure that you're adhering to your goals. Let's get it going. All right, so how to improve your body composition. So here are 5 ways that we talked about that we're going to truly improve your body composition. Now, it should be said that if you are a novice individual or you have very little training experience, or maybe you've never really delved deep into your training or have known how many calories you're eating, when you start implementing even the most basic tactics, sleep, eat a little bit more protein, get some training in, really start adhering to a program, you're going to see tremendous results. This video is for the individual who is now graduating from that novice, more that intermediate to that advanced, and you're really serious about taking your body composition to the next level. These are the 5 principles that you should adhere to. So let's jump in. Number 1, set time. What does this mean? Well, how long are your goals? Are they 8 weeks away, 6 weeks away, 10, 12, 6 months away? Whatever the case may be realistic. And so what I always tell people that we work with, add 1 month to that variable. Here's why. You're going to stagnate in your progress. You're going to see a lack of results just because your body is really pushing through change and all of these physiological things are happening. And so it's really going to try to hang on to the body fat. It's really going to want to get rid of some of that muscle because it takes more energy to sustain. So be realistic. But if you're doing these things, it's going to be much easier to manipulate those variables to get right back on track. Here's something that we have found. So typically in a week to 2 week span, you will lose and gain anywhere between 0.1 to 1.5 increase in muscle mass, and then you will lose 0.1 to 1.5 pounds in true body fat. Now, is this always the case? No, but we use an in-body here, and we have our individuals step on the in-body every single week, and then we can see what direction that's trending in. We add those up, we take averages, and that is pretty much what we've seen across the board for intermediate or advanced. Remember, this is not for novice individuals. So this is setting your time, knowing what your realistic expectations are, how much you're going to lose. This could be changed, but you're going to stay in that range. Number 2 is training. Training is a big one, right? We hear terms all the time. You gotta start doing some strength training, you gotta start lifting some weights, get some cardio in, so forth and so on. But what does that even mean? We need to identify what that truly means, because training is based on 2 factors, intensity and density, right? Intensity, how intense, how heavy is a movement? How much is my nervous system exerting energy to get that task done? So I could be underneath a bar, I could be squatting, I could be benching, I could be running very fast, performing a max effort box jump. Whether you're a normal person who's just looking to get in really good shape and strength train a little bit, or whether you're an athlete, intensity is something that's super important. Density refers to the volume. So the volume is sets and reps. So I'm doing 500-pound deadlift for 5 sets of 5 reps. That is a ton of intensity and density, and that's going to take a lot of energy to perform that session. But like we talked about in our intensity video, where we talked about the intensity scale from advanced to novices, an individual who could only deadlift 30 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, well, 5x5 at 10 pounds is really not going to make a dent in their training, so we maybe need to implement more volume. But here's what's cool. You can identify the intensity and density by heavy, medium, and light days. So what does that mean? On a day that's very intensive and a lot of volume is a high day. A day that maybe is not as intensive, but a decent amount of volume, but you don't feel so gassed after that training session, that's a medium day. This is an interval-based day. Here, if you're doing different general classes, that's a medium as well. Or if you're an athlete and we're doing some type of kind of recovery strength day with no running, jumping, or any type of speed work, that's a medium day. Your low day is a complete off day, or any type of steady state aerobic work that you are doing. Now, you can track all of this and understand, okay, I know I have my heavy, my medium, and my light days. So we just organized your training efforts. This leads us right into point number 3, setting calories. Now, I hear this all the time. Well, you don't really need to track your calories. You don't really need to know how much you're eating. That's true Again, if you're a novice or individual who has no experience with training, nutritional habits, and so forth. But if you're an intermediate or an advanced individual and you're really looking to, again, to improve that body comp, you need to track your calories. I say this to everybody we work with. You wouldn't budget not knowing how much money you make. You and your significant other, you yourself, if you don't know how much money you make, how can you possibly budget and allocate money appropriately? The same thing is with training and nutrition. So how do you allocate it? You allocate it with your heavy, medium, and light days. So I know maybe on my heavy days where my intensity and density is up, something that we adhere to is we keep protein high, carbs a little bit higher, fats stay the same. But on a medium day, my protein always should be a little bit higher, carbs are a little bit lower, fats should stay the same. Now, on a lower day where I don't need that carbohydrate, I don't need that glucose for energy, we might keep the protein high, carbs even lower, and fats a little bit higher. And again, we're not going to get into the specifics of why you should do this. This is a general outline. This could be subject to change, but what we're really trying to do is we're trying to manage energy and intensity. So we know that carbs are a primary source of fuel for intensive based workouts. So this is kind of what we like to adhere to here. Now, if you know this, we like to also recommend about an 80 to 20% rule. 80% of the foods that you know are very healthy for you and 20% of the things that you enjoy. Why is that? Because this will greater adhere to, right, you sticking to the training program, which is the most important to get the outcome that you're looking for. So this is how we set our calories. This leads us into point number 4, and they all work sequentially. Number 4, and I barely see anybody do this, is record your training time. What does that mean? You must understand the law of energy expenditure. You have to know that a high intensity day is more calorically dense in terms of output. You're gonna burn more calories, but also it's gonna take more recovery from that day. That's why you wanna eat more on that day, and so forth as it goes down the chain. Medium, not as much, light, not as much. But you have to record also the total amount of time that you're training per week. So if I know that I have 3 strength days, 2 interval medium days, so these strength days are heavy, and then I have 1 to 2 light days, I need to know, okay, well, how many minutes of each did it take me? So let's say this was 2 hours. Let's say this was 1.5 hours. Let's say this was 2 hours. Well, how much time is all of this together here? Okay, great. I know this is 5.5 hours. I'm going to record that for my week 1. And then when I have week 2, week 3, week 4, this number has to relatively stay the same within a certain zone, because if it doesn't, what ends up happening is now from here, my energy expenditure is doing this, but my nutrition is staying the same. And now what I actually did was I just created a surplus in my eating. And so what I tell a lot of people is if you try to adhere to the minimal effective dose, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I want to adhere to what is that minimal effective dose that I can adhere to, and every week I can add and add and add within the structure of heavy, medium, and light days. So I don't go 5 straight heavy days week 1. I'm really tired, so I do 2 heavy days, 2 medium, 1 light. I'm tired, so then I go 3 mediums, 1 light, and then I'm basically just taking a week off because I'm so sore, I'm tired, and I can't train. So you have to allocate these appropriately. You have to make sure you record total time, and you have to adhere to your calories to fit the demands of each of those days. So I hope that made sense in terms of understanding total time, and you just track it week after week. Now, here's our last point here, number 5. This is recording our weekly averages in weight. Now, a lot of people say, well, I don't like to weigh myself every day, or that seems like a chore, or some of our athletes even, it's just too much. I already have to do X, Y, and Z. Again, if you really want to take your training and your body composition to the next level, this is something that is mandatory, because again, you don't want to overreact. Here's an example. Let's say on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. Let's say on Monday, you weigh 100 pounds for the sake of this video. Let's say on Wednesday, I weigh 97 pounds. And then on Friday, I weigh 101. If once a week you weighed yourself, and you happen to weigh yourself on different days, in this week alone, if you just weighed yourself on Friday, oh my gosh, I'm up, I'm 101. And then if you were to weigh yourself on 97, oh, I'm down, perfect, right? You don't account for the fluctuations in recovery. You don't account for the fluctuations in your training density. And so now what you do is when you weigh yourself, first thing in the morning, empty stomach, no clothes on, you're gonna add those numbers up and you're gonna divide by 3. This is your weekly average. This is the number that matters because this number is what all the other variables are based upon. If this number is going down, great, you're headed in the right direction. If it stays the same, you might need to make a few adjustments, wait it out another week to see what happens. If this number is going up, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board. Do we need to get more time in? Do we need to take away more calories? So forth and so on. This is going to allow you, again, to get the ultimate outcome that you're looking for. So I hope this video was helpful, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can comment below or message us. But thanks so much. I'd love to hear about your training goals.